Idly ho there, neighbours. I hope everyone's well. I, just a little while ago got done with my first gaming session in a long time. And, I have many thoughts. First, I'm out of practice. And I could tell I was out of practice. A lot of the things should have flowed better, and I feel bad about that, actually. I have reasons for some of the stuff. First off, originally I was going to run Tyranny of Dragons, but I couldn't figure out how many people I was going to have, so I started writing up a different adventure, and then I got more people than I expected, so I had to change that adventure a little, and so the pacing wasn't quite there yet. I usually do more voices and things like that at the table, more sort of get into it and presentation, and this is a little weird, and I didn't quite get as much into that as I usually do, and I feel bad about that. And I recognize that I'm being my own worst critic. No one complained. Everybody seemed to have fun. But I feel like it could have done better. I feel like I've done better in the past. Another thing that certainly is a factor is I am not used to running online. This is my first time doing a tabletop via the internet game. And I have lots of thoughts on how those things go. We used a die rolling app that Chef LePep provided in the session. It was nice to have Shep actually in the session. He is more knowledgeable in doing those things than I am. Okay, and apparently I'm very popular right now. Anyways, and some of the rules, this is the first time I've ever run 5th edition, and I should have been reading more of the rules for it this week. So some of the things, I ended up having to look up things and miss some things that I shouldn't have. Mainly because I didn't do what I should have, honestly. There is certainly an aspect of it that has to do with the fact that I've been reading a lot of different things lately and going in a lot of different brain directions lately. I've been reading some Shadowrun supplements. I've been reading the old Mystara Gazetteers. I've been reading Fate. And so my brain is kind of a confused mess of rules lately. And I've always, I've never been the rules lawyer in any particular gaming group, but I should have caught a couple of things that I didn't. And that bugs me. So, now that I've said all of these things that are very down, let me say that I had a lot of fun. I will be doing this again. I think the response I got so here's a weird thing. I sent out a couple of messages on Google Plus saying, hey, I'm interested in doing this thing. I want to get together and have a tabletop via the internet game. Is anyone interested? And I only got a couple of little, things. Nobody, there wasn't a lot of firm, absolutely. There were a couple of people that were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And one person in particular said, that's awesome. And actually, he couldn't make it to the game. He started messaging me about the time we were wrapping up. That said, the moment I sent out an actual invite to an event type thing, everybody who responded, well, not everybody, some people just said, no, you can't make it or what have you, but a good portion of the people who responded went, that's a great idea. I really want to do this. How do, maybe next time give us some more warning. Which leads me to think that, A, they didn't see my initial post, which happens in social media a lot. So that's not a thing on them, that's a thing with social media. And B, apparently people like the idea of it. So I may be doing more of it. Obviously, I can only do it on nights that I'm off. And I may record some sessions in the future. This time I wanted to sort of hammer out how to do it and figure out, what the particular complications were before I tried it to actually record it and maybe post it up here as a Let's Play or something. But I will do that in the future, I think, because I think it's interesting. Now, I also, big props again to Shep Lepet for showing up and being very helpful. He's done a lot of these. This was my first online one, and it was nice to have him there. And the rest of the people that showed up were a bunch of people who I've known for years and years. And he, seemed to fit in pretty well with them. And I was glad to have him there. The Gummy Bear Barbarian that he was playing was awesome. As to the game itself, I was doing Mystara, so they were in the Sea of Dread, and they ran into a science fantasy element, which was a big thing back in the day for D&D. Science fantasy was a huge aspect back then. So if you read any of the old Blackmore stuff, there's talk of powerful engines of war that fell from the stars, and some of the adventures of set in the past of Mystara talk about basically alien civilizations, and even the present day in Galantry, there is the drive core of a starship buried under their mages college, and they draw power from it. So there's definitely a lot of, oh look, we've got science fiction mixed in with our fantasy. So I went for doing that as well to keep in that tone. And there's nothing quite like the look on the player, on my face at least, when the players ran afoul of the guy wielding a laser rifle, and I critted. Oops. So that happened. And yeah, critting with a laser rifle, that's gonna leave a mark. Especially when all the characters are first level. I expected the laser rifle to be a scary thing, but the guys carrying the scary thing weren't that bad, so they could overcome them and blah, blah, blah. I did not expect to crit somebody with it, so that happened. My bad. But yeah, I think the players are interested in what's going on, and I will probably revisit that, not this coming week, because this coming week's got weird schedule stuff, but maybe the following week. Anyway, my final word on it is I had a lot of fun, and I will be doing some more of it. I certainly saw things I could improve, but I also saw a lot of things that went well, and so I'm going to call it a victory. This is a victory. This is a success. I'm going to mark that down. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.